Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? All right, so we have some more up-to-date information on the Magnus here from Jay Bishy. Some interesting stuff here, and there's some things that I want to talk about. And it's one thing that I kind of feared, but I kind of feel like that's the case. I knew I wasn't going to get it because I'm kind of done with Windows 11 for now. But that doesn't mean it's all about me, though. I still would like to do content for all bases. I still care about the Xbox brand, and I still want to do Xbox content, but it's in a way where it's relevant. You know what I mean? Not being fake or anything. I still want to see Phil Spencer come in some sort of way. You know what I mean? I still like that type of stuff. So obviously, I still want to see that. But I have a worry here, and this is not Phil Spencer, obviously. This is Microsoft, and these are people in the Windows department. He says right here, and remember, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to just be like, oh, Xbox Magnus is reported or reputed. Let's talk about this first part right here. Xbox Magnus is reputed, you see right here, to feature a full bore Windows OS. Let's stop right here real quick. Obviously, you keep reading past that, but oh man. You see, one thing that I least liked about the Series XS and the ones before that is they had a kernel closed system that was kind of specifically around the console to make it like a console ecosystem. And when I see this is kind of no different than what's kind of going on with the ROG Ally, the ROG Ally X, and it's vulnerable to the Windows 11. Though, could they make Windows 11 a lot better by then? Hopefully they fix some stuff. I mean, that's possible, but as of right now, that's something that I think nobody wants to see when it comes to the Magnus, because then that just lets you know, no, okay, it's just a Windows 11 PC then. Could it have some hybrid aspects to it to an extent? Yes, maybe, but at its core, he said it right there. Full bore Windows operating system. So that's full bore Windows 11. Yeah, I don't like that. Because let me tell you something, in this market right now, it's just like when you think about the Steam machine. When Valve says, remember, this is a PC, not a console. So that means the price is automatically going to be higher because they're not selling it like a console. This is something, what I'm saying, like that's important because it's like, yeah, so forget about $1,000 under. You know what I mean? It's like, no, dude. We're going to go farther than that. And we're going to realize that here. With a console first UX, though, meaning it becomes, keyword here, a PC without the maintenance overhead. I mean, that's not a bad thing, but it's still Windows 11 though. So I can see Copilot being on there. Though Microsoft said in some recent posts they're kind of trying to cut back on that. So maybe if they're watching my videos and start watching other people's videos, do not force Copilot in there, but put it as an option that if somebody wanted to go in there and install it and say, well, I actually want to use that, give them the option, but don't have it pre-installed in there forced on them using up resources when it can specifically be catered to gaming. You see what I mean? It's like, yeah, don't do that. Not like this thing is going to be something huge anyways. I think it's going to launch just kind of like in the same ballpark of a Steam Deck or a Steam machine, because now we're looking at another extension of the PC world, where it's like everything that you said that you're going to do, besides maybe some Xbox 360 games or Xbox One games, that's a very small amount of people care about playing. You know what I mean? When we really think about the grand spectrum of the whole gaming community, you know what I mean? Like when you really think about that, I mean, you're just kind of doing what's already available on builds that people are going to away from Windows 11, like Linux dual boot or Linux only, if they can modify it that way, or Mac OS, depending if they're trying to avoid Game Pass and they don't care about Microsoft anymore. This is more like, here's still my stuff, but sorry, it's Windows 11, and we know you're running away from it to Linux, and you're on Linux right now, so I don't think those people are going to be interested. And those people that only want to do Steam stuff, unless they're like, maybe Microsoft is saving me $300 to $400, and if I wanted to get a PC like this with something like a 5090 in it, or a 5080 or a 5080 Ti, if they go that far, right, I could save $300 to $400, and I'm able to get that rig with the less maintenance overhead, and I'm already on Windows anyways, and I can get that and get on Steam and get my Steam experience and my GOG experience like that, and I have way better performance, you see, if it doesn't have any issues, you know what I mean? I could see that because I just like looking from all perspectives. Those point of views matter too. So, I mean, I think that that could be attractive to a crowd like that, and for people who are diehard Windows fans and just like the Microsoft stuff and the Microsoft fanboys and Xbox fanboys. And I'm not talking about people that are toxic, just people who just really want to just represent Team Green. So there's nothing wrong with being a fanboy, by the way. That's not what I mean. There's plenty of people that could be on some sports team and like the Lakers all day. You know what I mean? I used to like the Lakers, and they only want to represent that, and they're not toxic to anybody. They just like that team. That's okay. It's the toxic fanboy nonsense that's the problem. So there's nothing wrong with representing something you want to represent and be a fan. You know what I mean? It's like that's not negative if you're not bothering anyone and you kind of take, sticking to your own world. So a second thing here to highlight is a console without the walled garden. Kind of like maybe saying, because you're in the PC world, there's no Xbox Live anymore. It's gone. Or like need to pay for online. But if you're going to get Game Pass, it's kind of like if you're always going to have Game Pass, you're not really escaping that anyways, unless you're the person that's like, okay, now I have all these library of games. If it works like this, right? Or if you got smart delivery and I don't need to pay for online to play them and I own them, though a lot of the Xbox base uses Game Pass. So either way, Microsoft is okay with even saying online is free because most people, if you want to get Game Pass, you got to pay for it anyways. You see what I mean? And that was part of that. So I don't really think that changes much, except the fact that when you're moving into the PC world, you're getting the PC Game Pass price and not the console one, unless they still keep that where it's like the Magnus is going to be charging you $29.99. I'm like, oh, I don't know if you guys should do that because you're not a console anymore. So it's going to need to be the PC price of Game Pass. So that was to cover a console without the walled garden. Now, a Steam Deck style target with predictable hardware is what I was talking about before, where it's like, you're an extension of what already exists. You're not gonna have something separate to where it's like this is a dedicated world outside of the PC gaming, and if you don't have this, you can't do this. The only way I can see that being possible is in a small niche aspect with backwards compatibility with Xbox consoles, because they have something with Xbox, related. Where it's like, well, on here you can get 360 games, Xbox original games, and Xbox One games that never came to PC, and be able to play them at max settings. And we fully support that in a backwards compatibility aspect. Okay, I can see that. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And then you have after that. So that's what a Steam Deck style target is, guys. And also, like, you have to think about it like a Steam Deck. It might just sell like 4 or 5 million units because it's going to be so damn expensive. And Microsoft, because they're going to go the PC route, are not going to subsidize. And they wouldn't, and they cannot because of the way things go now. You can see that with no hardware deals in the holidays and everything else. And that's not Phil Spencer. That's just that profit corporate agenda. So next is things we've talked about before. We've seen Cody Swood talk about this before. Phil Spencer and a couple of other people. I've even said it before where we knew this was going to happen. A unified front end, but this is what PC does already. But now they're going to have a somewhat console-like experience because that's what the Steam Deck is doing. I mean, that's what the Steam machine is doing, right? It's coming into the gaming aspect, but it's a console-like experience. So now you're going to have the Magnus that goes the PC route, but be an Xbox console-like experience with a unified front end that aggregates libraries from Steam, Epic, GOG, and Xbox. It's kind of, that's why they're getting a full screen experience ready and all that, because that's going to be for that. So that's where I see there. Just to update you guys on the information we just got recently. So he's saying it right here, he's letting you know this. And I've been telling people, you know how many people came to my page saying it's going to be in a console? It's like, I told you it's not going to be. AGN has been telling you that. He said that all last year. He says it's no longer just a console. It's a curated hybrid. And that does change the calculus for anyone considering a PC. So you're going to get priced like a PC, not a console. And they're not going to subsidize. I'm telling you guys, get ready for not $1,000. No. It's going to go beyond that. I promise you. I'm not going to lie to you. So he says it right here. It's not a console. Even if you opt for a desktop setup, you're still inside Microsoft's orbit. Exactly. You're in the Windows 11 orbit. Magnus would simply be a more convenient and predictable endpoint in the same ecosystem. You see what he said? Not Xbox, over Microsoft and the endpoint in the same ecosystem. You're in a Microsoft ecosystem with Windows 11. But they're kind of trying to tweak it to be kind of like a console-like experience with the unified front end, Steam Deck style target, where you're kind of doing that. You're not going to compete to sell 40, 50, 60 million. That's not going to happen. That stuff's over with. Even the Series X can't do that right now. So, and everybody's accepted that. And so they're going to have that hardcore enthusiast luxury option to still keep the Xbox alive which I know Phil Spencer's pushing for, and then be a strong third-party publisher on all platforms and still be relevant. And if they're selling this, they're making a good amount of profit off of it and not subsidizing. That's what I think is going on, guys. I think this is pretty much it. And maybe it may be targeting 2027 late. So this guy asked disk drive. Bro, if it's, I mean, come on, man. Look, you know, like, here's my thing. I would never ask that question considering that it's a PC. It's like, dude, no, man. This is not a console. You're not going to see that. I'm sorry, but no, you'll be able to do that digitally. That's the point of the cloud and all that other stuff. And JB said, I previously mentioned that an external disk add-on is likely for those with physical media, although the focus will be entirely digital. They've been doing this digital stream cloud. Come on, man. Game Pass, Microsoft's been done with that. It's like, that's what the majority of the world is anyway. So you can't get mad at them. That's not coming. Even Sony is doing stuff like that. And you got to have like an add-on. So maybe that's possible, but it's going to be an add-on. I'm telling you, they're not going to focus on that because that's very niche. And how much will it be since it's not a console and a PC? $1,500 to $2,000, somewhere around that. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking, like somewhere in that ballpark. If you get lucky, $1,300 or something, but I don't think so, man. No. So definitely with the way the PC market is at the moment and you're going to PC route, it's going to be expensive. It's like until the official prices are revealed, all numbers are speculative. To an extent, I get what you mean, but it's pretty obvious that it's going to be expensive, man. Like, that's not something you need to guess. What you're going to need to guess is the actual price tag, but it's easy to narrow it to like, dude, I'm telling you at least $1,300 to $1,600. Like no matter what, you're going to be in that range, like regardless, because they're not looking to do anything insane. They're kind of in the same Steam situation where you're kind of like having your stuff go as a extension of what's available in the PC world. So what happens with gamers, with console games, not on Xbox Play Anywhere, like Cyberpunk 2077, sounds like they would have just to buy it again to play on the Magnus. Yeah, of course. But unless they have some backwards compatibility outside of the Play Anywhere or something, then hey, man, I don't know. They'll have to answer that question, but that's a good question because that's probably going to be the case. Because rumors refer to backwards compatibility being retained through a combination of hardware support and compatibility layers. We're going to have to get the final answer from them on that. Excuse me, had to mute my mic. So if we go to this guy again with the disc, it's like, no, bro, it's over. So William says it's just a pre-built mini PC, not a console. Yeah, exactly, dude. That's exactly what it is, guys. So he's like, you could have stopped that PC. Just call it a PC. No need to fancy words. Well, that's the thing, is what I'm saying. Like, no matter what, you're not going to be able to get around that. So these are the benefits that we kind of have if you're kind of going that route and that's where you want to go. And then we're seeing that full bore Windows 11. I think that's the biggest unattractive aspect to this, man. But hey, man, let's see what they do starting now to the moment that Magnus launches next year, probably late or in 2028. And let's see what they've done with Windows 11 by that time, because I think Windows 12 will eventually be around the corner too. So yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna have to let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment down below and a like as usual. Later, y'all. Keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on.